Welcome into Sheldon High School here on the Friday Night Spotlight. It is time for the second round of the OSAA 6A state playoffs. It's Alex Castle and Ethan Weiss here with you. Thanks to those of you joining us here on KWVA Eugene 88.1 FM or on the webcast, sheldonathletics.com. Big thanks to all the guys back in studio for the hour, or shortened hour, I should say, of Quack Smack, but we are now ready to go for some playoff action. And Ethan, what a fun one I think we have in store for us tonight. It's the number 6 seed Sheldon, number 22 seed St. Mary's. A trip to the Giles Center and the quarterfinals is on the line, and some nice storylines here. Last year, St. Mary's came in here as a 25 seed and knocked off Sheldon in the first round. En route to their 4th place finish in the state tournament last year, they've gone to 6 of the last 7 state tournaments, and they're looking to keep that alive with an upset tonight.
Yeah, what a crazy story for these teams to be in the same position as they were last year. Sheldon as an 8 seed they were last year, this team being a 25 seed, St. Mary's. Kind of the same thing. St. Mary's 22, Sheldon the 6, so they're both a little higher. Sheldon's going to be playing with strong vengeance, as last year St. Mary's ruined their hope on their own floor. So we're going to be seeing a lot of true tests tonight to see who can make it to the final playoff run.
Yeah, either way, there's whether or not there's the pressure of the revenge on the mind of Sheldon or St. Mary's wanting to pull the upset. We're in the playoffs now. It's win or go home. You can rank the teams how you would like, but either way, the winner, they get to move on. The loser, their season is over. Sheldon, they're coming off a first-round victory earlier this week against Tualatin. That one was a 58-45 game. Really a solid start, I think, to the Sheldon Irish's run. And last year, this was maybe a young team, if you will. They only departed 3 seniors from last year's squad that lost in that first round. Maybe a learning experience for them. Now they get to come in 1 year under their belt, everybody a year older, and maybe that experience of losing last year is just what they needed to figure themselves out and now really go on a run here in the postseason to the state tournament.
Yeah, definitely. These teams have grown a lot since this time last year. Both teams lost 3 seniors, including Bendu Yanni for St. Mary's. She's now playing. She's now a freshman year at Indiana, getting some playing time over there in the big leagues. And it's nice to see these teams come back in the same position as they were last year to see what they can do, making it to the playoffs here.
Yeah, it worked out nicely for both of these teams to match up as St. Mary's, the 22 seed, once again in the 20s going into the postseason. Once again, they are the highest seed to win in the first round of the playoffs and be here in the final 16. They're coming off a win against number 11 McMinnville back on Tuesday. It was a little bit of a slow start for them, but I think really St. Mary's, it's the second straight year coming in as a low seed in the tournament, but riding a 4-game winning streak. Last year they rode a 2-game winning streak into the postseason. Just getting a little bit of confidence I think they need before the season ended, and now after getting that first round upset, no reason for them not to believe in themselves here on the road once again. Yeah,
St. Mary's, they do not play like the seed they are. They don't mind being a low seed. They like being they come on the season strong as they finished last year, and they're showing now. They started the season non-conference 4-7. And then 1-4 going in the league play. They won the last 3 games in league, and they won that game versus McMinnville, beating the higher seed. Like you said, they are the highest seed, making it to the second round. So they do not play like their seed at all.
And Sheldon, they're looking for their first trip to the state tournament since 2015, where they were able to end up losing in the semifinals to, believe it or not, St. Mary's. So a lot of bad blood between these two teams. St. Mary's on the other side, really, when you look at their entire program history, maybe one of the most successful in all of the 6A high schools here in Oregon. They've gone to 6 of the last 7 state tournaments. Only one of those finishes was higher than 4th, and that was a 2nd-place finish back in 2015 when they knocked off Sheldon in the semifinals. But you go back before 2006 when really OSAA expanded to all 6 divisions. They had gone to 23 playoff appearances. That was the 3rd most in all of Oregon. They went 12 trips to the state tournament. They three-peated as champions back in the 80s. Really trying to return to that type of high standard of a program of winning some of those state tournaments, haven't got it done since the 80s. On the other hand, Sheldon, no state title berths in their entire program history. Something's got to give here. Both teams a trip to the state tournament. That's kind of the end goal, I think, for every team at the beginning of the season. So really they can have that dream realized here tonight.
Yeah, it's fun looking at these two teams, comparing them in the history of the both squads. Like you said, St. Mary's is a blue blood. I mean, look at the mascot name. They are the Blues. Sheldon now on the rise. They haven't, like you said, they haven't been to a state championship before, but their hopes are very alive at this point. But they got to get past the St. Mary Academy tonight here.
Well, Carolyn Rayburn Gymnasium is filling up and getting set now for the national anthem. We've got just a couple minutes before we are ready to get going here, but first, let's go to a break here on KWVA. Coming up on the other end, it's number 6 Sheldon and number 22 St. Mary's Academy in the second round of the OSAA 6A state playoffs. But for now, to a break here on KWVA Eugene 88.1 FM.
Each other and yourselves. Please enjoy the game and support these student athletes who are modeling good sportsmanship. If you please rise, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem performed tonight by the Sheldon Pep Band.
Welcome back live here on the Friday Night Spotlight, live from Sheldon High School, and it's now time to get the starting lineups for the Sheldon Irish and the St. Mary's Academy Blues. Let's start with the visiting St. Mary's side. They come into tonight 11-14 on the season. They went 7-9 in the Three Rivers League. That was good for 5th place overall. Starting tonight for the Blues, they've got junior guard Maya Brazil. She was the 2017 Three Rivers League Defensive Player of the Year and scored 10 points back in Tuesday night's first round win. Along with her is number 3, Marley Johnson, a sophomore wing. She had 15 points to lead the Blues back on Tuesday. Along with her, Anna Eddy, a sophomore wing. Julian Ruff will be the senior down in the post, the only senior starting tonight for St. Mary's. And then rounding out the lineup for the Blues is Jade Newton, the junior forward, who was an honorable mention last year in the Three Rivers League. St. Mary's number 22 seed coming into the postseason. They're led by head coach Dewey Taylor in his 4th season with a career record of 55-6. 49. Now over on the Sheldon Irish side, they come into tonight 20-5 on the season, 10-2 in the Southwestern Conference, which is tied for first. They come in number 6 in the OSAA rankings and seeded 6th in the OSAA 6A tournament. Starting for the Irish, at guard is the sophomore standing at 5'9", a first-team All-Southwestern Conference performer a season ago, Alyssa Mirabile. Along with her is junior forward standing at 5'11", Cammie Walk. Then alongside her, junior guard Fallon Hansen. Then Michaela Skurlock, the sophomore guard. And then rounding out tonight's lineup for the Sheldon Irish is Amber Winkler. Had no points back on Tuesday, but had 6 blocks on the defensive side. Sheldon is led by head coach Brian Brancato in his 9th season. He has a record of 155 and 52. Just about set for the start of this one. Everything's on the line. Winner go home. Winner will go to the Child Center and take on the winner of Beaverton.
Yeah, exciting matchup to look for tonight. Julia Ruff versus Amber Winkler. 2 senior posts for both squads. This could be their last game ever for both the girls here.
And here it's the Irish that control the opening tip, and we're underway here inside Carolyn Rayborn Gymnasium. It's Hansen driving baseline from the near corner, and she's able to get the roll to go through traffic to start us off. The Irish up 2-0. Thanks for tuning in here on KWVA Eugene. Alex Castle, Nathan Weiss here with you. It's Brazil bringing it up for the Blues, dancing around inside the paint, gets it down low, and now they kick it out to Marley Johnson, and now on the outside right wing is Newton. She drives baseline, throws up a one-handed hook, and it just goes through the net perfectly, tied up 2-2. Quick full court pass is knocked out of bounds by Brazil of St. Mary's, so Sheldon keeps possession, but they were trying to get the tempo going fast, and I think that's what St. Mary's defensively is going to have to worry about. The Irish, they come in having averaged 60 points per game this year. That was best in the SWC. It's Mirabile off the inbound starting up. Passes down low to Walk, who's trying to work into the paint, but she catches and walks before she's able to get a shot up, so she'll be called for the travel. A quick turnover for the Irish.
Sheldon fans not happy with that call here.
Crowd is starting to line up here. Now a full court pass to a wide open Newton down at the basket, but she is swatted away there. Flying in was Cammie Walk with the emphatic rejection out of bounds, but the Blues will keep possession underneath the basket. Brazil throws into Newton. Newton high post spins, goes up left side and blocked. Back again. Follow no good from Ruff, and the rebound to Sheldon. Under 7 to go here in the first quarter. Mirabile going full court, throws it up, foul in the basket. Sheldon off to a quick start and a quick and one opportunity for the sophomore guard.
Sheldon running and gunning early here in the game. We're going to see if St. Mary's can keep up with them defensively.
4-2, Mirabile now with a chance to make it 5. Free throw too strong off the back rim, but Walk, she has the follow, she gets fouled. Can't get the basket to go, but she'll shoot 2 more free throws. Offensive rebounding hurting St. Mary's there. Is going to the line is Cammie Walk. 11 points back in Tuesday night's win. This one just rolls off the left side of the rim, no good. Walk. 12 games this year where she scored double digits. Gets her first point with a second free throw that falls. 5-2 Sheldon, 6:45 to go. Brazil gets trapped just in front of the half-court mark, then throws it off. And now get into the corner for Newton. She has to pass back out to Eddie. And now Brazil going to slow it down. The top of the key, reset things, drives left, goes in, tries to get a pass off, but it's knocked away, and the steal for Sheldon. Mirabile up quickly to Hansen, wide open layup, and it rolls through. Sheldon's defense getting 2 quick points. Now they put the full court press on. Eddie trying to get some help. She has to throw it off here to Ruff. Now over to Brazil, and they get it across half court. Brazil to Newton, corner 3, high arcing shot, too strong. Bounces off a Sheldon player. Mirabile trying to track it down. She just can't get to it. It'll be out of bounds, and St. Mary's ball.
Sheldon running early here with a fast break and also pressing hard. We see there St. Mary's got a good look for 3, and that will happen when you do press break the press.
Brazil off the inbounds here, trying to Working an hour pass, nearly intercepted, but they're going to call a foul here against Mirabile. Aggressive steal attempt there, and this one's going against St. Mary's. Mirabile jumped in front of the pass, and they say a push from behind goes against Marley Johnson, and that's already her second foul of the night. Mirabile walks it up the court. They now work it to Hansen, left wing. Up top, Mirabile. Over right wing, Hansen thinks about a shot, dribbles in, then swings it with a high lob over to the other side. Now into the corner for Winkler. Now up top, Mirabile. Left wing, three-pointer taken from Hansen and swishes through. Sheldon extends their lead 10-2 here, just a couple minutes gone in the first quarter. Brazil bringing it up, and a foul called, a hand check, goes against the sophomore Mirabile. It's her first foul. St. Mary's setting up the offense to go high post Eddy. She tries to work it down to Ruff on the low post, but now they swing it to the corner. Now up top, Brazil. She drives in left side. She's swarmed by Winkler as to throw it back out Newton. She gets a screen right, driving up, throws it up, runner no good, but there's Ruff on the follow, and she gets the lay-in to go. 10-4 Sheldon as Mirabile brings it up. 5 minutes to go. Fakes the pass, but then has it swatted out of her hands as she tried to go up. Brazil going down the other end, 2-on-2. Nice dish over to Eddy on the right block, and she has the easy transition layup. Quick 4-0 run for St. Mary's. Hansen now left wing, another three that she'll take. Just bounces off, but she gets her own rebound. Out Mirabile, she'll take a three, too short. Trying to save it now is Hansen. She's able to get it in. Follow no good once again. And then Walk able to tip it out to Winkler, and Sheldon somehow salvages another rebound. High post now to Walk. She takes a little 10-footer, but it's no good off left side. Rebound to Newton and the Blues. Long possession there, ends in no points. Now into the game, Gallion for St. Mary's. She drives in, then tosses off to Eddy, who airballs a baseline jumper too strong. Mirabile sprinting the other way now for Sheldon. Drives in 1-on-3. Way too much traffic for her. She has it swatted out of bounds, but it will go off St. Mary's.
Great defense there by Julian Gallion for St. Mary's.
Quick tempo back and forth by both of these squads. Now quick pass goes into Mirabile, and able to get the roll is Newman off the inbounds. She comes in and gets her first 2 points. Marcy Rainin in as well, and her tough defense forces Brazil to lose it out of bounds. Another turnover. That's 2 turnovers now for St. Mary's early on in this one. 12-6, Sheldon leads. Mirabile dribbling left side, gets a screen, drives in. Nice move, up and under off the right side of the backboard and down. Great patience by Mirabile attacking the basket. It's Eddy bringing it up the court now. Full court, she takes it and then tries to swing it over to the far corner for Newton. But there was Mirabile to tip it out of bounds. She's just all over the place right now.
Yeah, St. Mary's trying to give Sheldon a little taste of their own medicine with a fast tempo, but it's not working out. Sheldon defenders getting back really well.
And now we get a timeout taken from Coach Dewey Taylor for St. Mary's Academy. It's 14-6 Sheldon, 3:34 to go in the first quarter. The pace has really been the most, clear thing that we've seen so far, but it's really been Sheldon defensively. They're able to get back, tip some balls, make life tough on St. Mary's. Sheldon, they've had a few too many possessions on the other end where they're just able to cut up the defense and get an easy layup to go.
Yeah, I'm loving the hustle from Sheldon. You're seeing a lot of double chance points they're getting. They weren't able to convert on that one possession, but they got 3 extra chances, and you got to love the hustle. It's playoff time. They're showing the heart and the blood, the sweat on the floor here tonight.
Sheldon starting strong in this one. Back last year in the first round, they led 13-12 after the first quarter, but a little bit of an asterisk was there as Benduyani, the first-team All-State, first-team All-Tournament, player of the year in the league, the do-it-all player for St. Mary's. She didn't play in that first quarter. She came in for the next 3 quarters, and from then on out, it was nothing but St. Mary's. They walked away with that upset. They're now back underway, and a quick score from the right block as Brazil cuts up the defense and finds Ruff on the right block, and now quick succession of plays down on the other end as Sheldon has a foul called against him as they were trying to work it down low to Newman. Once again, it was Ruff that got the 2 points on the other end for St. Mary's. It's now 14-8 Sheldon. Hanson to inbound. She gets it into Rainin, who takes a three and makes it over Brazil. Marcy Rainin, her first 3 points of the night, coming off the bench. Brazil quickly through the press. Now to Newton, near corner. She'll take a three high off the backboard, no good. Fighting for the rebound down low is Newman, swinging down Ruff and securing it for the Irish. It's Hanson to Skurlock in the far corner. Now back to Hanson on the wing, able to get around Brazil, takes a mid-range jumper, and it rolls off. Rebound St. Mary's. Brazil, quick throw to Newton on the other side. She goes up in traffic and draws the foul. Sheldon crowd doesn't like it, and neither does Michaela Skurlock, the sophomore guard that will be charged with that one. Will be her first. Free throws coming up here for Jaden Newton. She's got 2 points here tonight. It is a 17-8 Sheldon lead.
It's interesting seeing St. Mary's run as fast as Sheldon is. That you would think in a team like this they would want to play against their game, take them out of their element, but they're running with them. So we'll see if they continue to do that.
And truthfully, from last year, that's what St. Mary's did as well. They wanted to come in and play their style as well, which is that up pace as Newton misses the second of the 2 free throws, and the rebound to Mirable, and she just goes coast to coast, misses a wide open layup. The rebound goes to Newman though, and then a jump ball called underneath on the right block as Newman got tied up with Ruff. The possession arrow favors the Blues, but even last year St. Mary's, they came in here and they were able to run up and down with Sheldon. They were the ones that were forcing the turnovers. So far it's just been Sheldon quicker with their hands on the other side. It's Brazil working on Rainin. She's going to take a mid-range jumper and gets it to go off the backboard. A nice look there for her. Gives her her first 2 points, 17-11 now. Mirable throws down right block to Newman. Quick post move is no good. Ruff gets the rebound, but Newman takes it back to the free throw line for Rainin. Her shot is off, but Hanson somehow ends up with it with Sheldon. Mirable will reset. Extra opportunities just keep coming for the Irish as now they work it right baseline. Jumper is no good. It's off from Caitlin Fouts. Rebound to St. Mary's. Here it's Eddy spinning against Rainin, gets a screen right, hands off to Newton. Newton hands it off back to Brazil up at the top of the key, guarded by Mirable. She has a screen left if she wants it. She doesn't. Now moves it back to the right wing, and Mirable is going to be charged with a reach-in, and she's got a little bit too handsy there, and she's going to have to come out. That's her second of the night.
Yeah, Sheldon's going to need to be careful playing that full-court man-to-man press. They got to watch the hand checks.
Some substitutions here. Michaela Spurlock comes back in. Cammie Walk in as well to join Newman, Hanson, and Rainin. Brazil up at the top of the key, trying to throw it down low, and it's stolen away. Nice bat away from Newman. Now quick, up court, goes to Spurlock, and she gets the finish at the rim. 19-11, Sheldon ahead. Eddy dribbling right behind the half-court mark, now does get across. It's over to Brazil. Drives into the middle of the defense, throws out to Newton left wing, back to Eddy up top. Crossover, goes to the free throw line, and it's stolen away. Rainin throwing it full court, and she can't connect with Spurlock. It flies out of bounds, and a turnover the other end. It's getting to get a bit too quick there for the Irish, and give the ball back to St. Mary's. It's 19-11 now. They lead with just under a minute to go in this first quarter.
And that's what's going to happen. You're going to see a lot of turnovers in these fast-paced kind of games.
Grace Fallon in for St. Mary's, along with Marley Johnson once again. It's Newton driving in, able to work her way around Spurlock, but she can't get the finish. Newton fighting for the rebound underneath. She was trying to squeeze it out to the three-point line, but it just rolls out of bounds at the Sheldon bench. And we'll go back to the Irish.
Great hustle by Newton there. She almost got her own board off her miss.
45 seconds to go. It's Amber Winkler now checking in for Newman. Walking it up the floor now is Fallon Hanson. 4 points already tonight. She throws off to Spurlock right wing. And Hanson over to Rainin. She'll take a deep three, and it rattles through. Sheldon doubling up St. Mary's here, 22-11, and then Rainin taking it away from Eddie in the back court, and she's fouled on the attempt. Macy Rainin, excuse me, making them pay there as she swiped away the ball from Eddie right after she caught the inbounds pass, and then has 2 free throws coming up because of it.
The full court press finally working there for Sheldon. That was the first time they got a steal off of it.
First free throw, no good there from Rainin. Sheldon struggling a little bit at the line despite the 5 fouls that St. Mary's has had charged against them already in this first quarter. Hansen checks out, and in comes Lisa Washington. His second free throw was good from Rainin. St. Mary's trying to break the press. Now it's Eddie dribbling through the middle, just gets through the defense to Newton in the near corner. Now back up top, it's Gallion. Tossing it back and forth with Newton. Gallion now drives left side, throws it to Johnson for a deep corner 3. It can't fall. Tracking it down is Eddie, saving it. Newton jacking a 3, and it's swatted away by Winkler at the 3-point line, and that ends the first quarter. The Irish emphatically leading 23-11 after the first 8 minutes.
Wow, Winkler had 6 blocks in that last game. That was her first one of this one. We'll see if she can get back up to 6 like last game. I don't know if she can, but that's what an impressive block there to be aware of the time that was on the clock. Great block by Winkler.
Yeah, not often you see 3-pointers blocked at any level, but Winkler, her 6'1" frame and that wingspan has been deadly for opposing offenses. But so far, I mean, you talked about it, Ethan, a little bit surprised to see St. Mary's is playing into Sheldon's game. Last year they were able to, because they had Ben Dudiani, one of the best players in the state. She's now at Indiana. She's not coming off the bench after this first quarter like she did last year. So St. Mary's, they got to find some type of other answer here in the second quarter because they've already found themselves in a pretty big hole. Yeah,
Sheldon, a team like Sheldon who plays fast on offense knows how to play fast on defense. Their girls get back on defense. They got the quick hands. We saw Winkler there with the quick effort to get the block at the end of the quarter. So they know how to run up and down the field, up and down the court. They're conditioned. That's why they do it. That's why they have the fast-paced offense. So that's why we're going to see a lot of steals here on Sheldon's defense.
23-11. We're back ready to get going here for the second quarter. I said earlier, Sheldon led after the first quarter last year against St. Mary's. That then fell apart after that as St. Mary's outscored them 48-26 over the next 3 quarters. Here it's Hansen on the outside. She gives to Winkler, who will take a deep 2, and it rattles through. She had 1 foot behind the line, the other one just touching those, so that's just 2 points for Winkler. But those are her first of the night. It's Fallon catching it at the half-court mark. Now Eddie to Newton. She'll jack a deep 3. It's off the front end of the rim, and then Sheldon will just let it roll out of bounds and take the ball back down. St. Mary's getting some open shots in the corners from Newton, but she is just yet to hit. 0 for 4 so far tonight. It's Hansen up the court to Spurlock. Far corner. Now down to Walk. She spins, throws out Winkler. She drives in, pulls up 10 feet off left side, but there with the follow is Walk, and she gets it through. Offensive rebounds really adding up now for Sheldon. 27-11 they lead. 7 minutes ago in the first half. It's Gallion. Has to get it across half court. Now trapped is Marley Johnson against the sideline. She has to roll it out and taken by Winkler. She throws up underneath to Spurlock, and she's not able to get the transition shot to fall, and then St. Mary's dribbles it off the foot there of Washington, so they will keep the ball and have to inbound it from the back court. Sheldon, though, not letting St. Mary's really run any type of different offense with all the pressure they're putting on them defensively. Here they throw it up. Brazil, right side. She gets it across half court and then slows it down where teammates can space out. Dribbling against Hansen, and her pass is stolen away by Washington. Hansen one-on-one with Brazil, goes up left side and draws a foul. Crashing to the floor there is Hansen. She'll take the contact and get 2 free throws for her troubles.
St. Mary's is getting sloppy on the offensive side. They're always able to break the press, but once they do, they get in those trap situations that Sheldon leads them right into.
Hansen up to the free throw line. 5 points so far here tonight for her. First free throw rolls off. Another miss from the Irish at the line. Sheldon, they'll play the winner of, or the winner of this one, Sheldon or St. Mary's, I should say, will play the winner of Sherwood and Beaverton. So here, the second free throw, no good once again. Newton gets the rebound for St. Mary's. Throws it up to Eddie now into the front court, and a foul called. It's like a hand check. It's going to go against Cammie Walk, her first. St. Mary's, if they can find a way to get to the free throw line, that would greatly help them out right now. Still scoreless in this second quarter. 6 minutes to go. Here driving is Brazil. She'll take a little mid-range shot, and it just rolls out. Rebound to Walk and Sheldon. She's sprinting it up on her own. Takes it left side. Throws to Spurlock in the near corner. Then out Hansen. Fakes the shot. Dribbles through. Floater through the middle of the lane. No good. And a foul going against Walk. She pushed off, trying to get the offensive rebound. She picks up a second one really quick. She's set to check out. It will be 3 Irish players coming in. Mirabile checks in for Hansen. Rainin in for Washington. And Newman in for Walk.
You got to love the hustle, though, by Walk. Those are the kind of fouls that you want your girls to have when they're going after those second chance points. You got to be careful, though.
Rainin against Brazil here and forces a bad pass. Is not able to get her hands on it. Was Gallion, and it flies out of bounds by the St. Mary's bench. Sheldon, another forced turnover.
St. Mary's cannot handle the full court press here in the second quarter. They did a good job in the first quarter, but not the same story here in the second.
27-11 is our score. Winkler throws into Mirabile in the backcourt. Coach Brancato calls out the play. Mirabile gets a screen right. Pick and roll to Newman. She goes through in traffic. Can't get it to fall. Rebound corralled by St. Mary's underneath. Bringing it up is Gallion. Pauses, and she dragged her back foot. Turnover. Officials all over it. There's Mitch Bousquet on that one. He's joined tonight by Tony Fajardo and Ben Prowl out there on the floor. 5:30 to go. Rainin takes it from deep. No good. Rebound goes off to Gallion, and now they can call an over the back here against Sheldon, so St. Mary's will keep possession. Eddie working against Rainin in the backcourt, trying not to get it picked out of her pocket. Able to just keep Rainin away. Now throws off to Ruff on the outside. Now back to Gallion right side. Being swarmed by Rainin once again. Turns back, driving towards the basket, trying to throw it down low. Had it swatted out of her hand. Regains it and gets it down to Johnson, who gets the lay-in to go. The first 2 points of for St. Mary's in this second quarter makes it 27-13. Mirabile walks it up for Sheldon. Throws off Spurlock right wing. Drives to the top of the key. Throws to Winkler. Now down low to Newman in the paint. Gets some separation and off the right side of the backboard and down. Third and fourth points for Newman as Eddie breaks the press. Throws it to Johnson in the far corner. Gets her defender in the air, then drives in, and she's fouled. She was blocked hard on that shot by Winkler, but the follow-through got her, so she'll get 2 free throws.
Smart move by Johnson there to get the pump fake and draw her girl up to get down low and get a foul charged against Sheldon.
Good time to let you know that this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. It's the first free throw is off there for St. Mary's. For the latest information on your favorite high school teams, you can log on to osaa.org, where you'll find playoff brackets, broadcast schedules, and historical records. More information at osaa.org. KWVA thanks the OSAA for support during this broadcast. Some substitutions coming in. Hansen back out on the floor for Sheldon. Second free throw fired away now by Johnson, and it's good. So she has all 3 of the points for St. Mary's in the second quarter. They find themselves down by 15 now, 29-14 with 4:24 to go. Hansen up the floor for Sheldon. Has Winkler on her wing. Going to get a screen left from her. Hansen picks up her dribble, throws over to Spurlock right side. Now trying to get it down to Winkler down low. It's lobbed up high and stolen away by the Blues. Eddie has it, and she's fouled in the backcourt as she was spinning away. It was Winkler that got her, and now a 1-and-1 coming up for St. Mary's.
Sheldon's got to be careful. They're all, they have the full court press throughout the entire game, and most of the time it's been successful when they got the steals and the blocks and everything. But they got to be careful with those hand checks, as the refs are calling them.
1-and-1 is good there from Eddie. 3 points for her now. Second free throw off the left side of the rim, bouncing out. Sheldon trying to fight for it, and a nice save by Winkler to throw it into Hansen. Hansen dribbles behind her back and slows it down. Setting up the half-court offense now, throws over Winkler. They swing it to Rain in left wing. Thinks about a shot, then drives in left side. Too strong off the backboard on the lay-in, though, and the rebound to Eddie. Trying to dribble it around Rainin, and she dribbles it nearly off of her foot. But it goes off of Rainin's foot instead, and Eddie there was screaming out, "Where's my help?" All of her teammates ran around, and she was nearly trapped. Thankfully, she dribbled it off an Irish player's foot, so they keep possession and throw it back in. Eddie gets trapped again by 2 players. Has to throw it up to Johnson and is able to break the press. Johnson gives back to Eddie now. Throwing high post to Ruff. She gets around Newman, swinging down right block to Fallon, and she can't get it to go. She loses control of it, stolen away. The pass up to half court, nearly intercepted, and then Brancato going to take a timeout. Irish getting a little bit lazy with the ball and nearly had it stolen, so they'll slow it down, talk it over as we head to this break. 29-15, Sheldon leads with 3:19 to go. Once again, this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. At the OSAAstore.com, you can find commemorative shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and more. KWVA thanks the OSAA for support during this broadcast. Sheldon maintaining their big lead right now. Ethan, St. Mary's, they're starting to find some ways, I think, to get points up on the board, getting to the free throw line, but they're going to need a lot more of that. They're going to have to find a way to get some of these shots to start falling.
Yeah, the St. Mary's, they do have a good chance to go to the line a lot here in the remaining of the half, with Sheldon being as aggressive as they are with the full court press. And but what St. Mary's need to do is they need to keep Sheldon in the half-court offense, because they struggle. They often are running fast pace, and they don't need to set up the half-court offense.
Sheldon here running something out of the inbound. It's Rainin's going to take a 3 from the left wing, and it falls through. Her second of the night. She had 5 back on Tuesday on her way to 23 points. Brazil going to take it all on her own into the middle of the defense there of the paint. She dribbled coast to coast, but then got fouled from behind as Rainin tried to swipe it away. Macy Rainin can't miss right now. She had 23 points and 6 steals back on Tuesday as the 1-and-1. It's good here from Brazil on the front end, so she'll have a second free throw now. Brazil fires away the second one, and it's good. 4 points for her now, 32-17 Sheldon. Full court pass goes to Spurlock in the right corner, and then she's called for a travel as she drove in baseline. So turnover for Sheldon. That's going to be their 5th. Inbounds goes to Brazil here. She hesitates and is able to get past the defense into the half court. Throws it to Johnson in the corner. She now drives in, takes some contact, can't get the runner to go. Rebound fought for, and Brazil able to force a jump ball with Newman. The possession arrow does favor the Blues, so they'll keep the ball.
Great hustle there by the Blues to keep the ball alive.
Gives them another possession here as they trail by 15. Throwing the pass in, and Brazil can't connect with Fallon, who's running off a screen, was trying to catch it. It went too far and rolls out of bounds, so another turnover for St. Mary's.
That's their 11th.
Just can't keep control of the ball, not getting enough looks at the hole because of it. Hansen throws off to Walk on the left wing. She gets a screen right, but then dribbles left. Now picks up her dribble, pivots, throws out Spurlock. She drives in, hesitates, mid-range jumper, no good. Rainin fought for and wins the offensive rebound. Then her pass lobbed over the head of Hansen, and it rolls out of bounds. All that effort, but it's a little bit too high for her teammate, so St. Mary's gets it right back. 2:17 to go. It's 32-17 Irish. Brazil dribbles to the three-point line, throws out Eddie up top, hands off to her again as she drives left. Baseline jumper, 10 feet, no good. Fallon gets the offensive rebound on the right block, throws it up, and it falls down on the other end for Hansen. Running full court now is Spurlock, throws it up to her, hesitates, gets to the other side of the rim, can't get it to finish. Rebound fought for, one by Newman. Her follow's no good, and then Walk gets in there and draws a jump ball. Sheldon will get this one with the possession arrow back on their side. You can see the Irish just don't want to give up any possession, fighting for every last ball as the inbounds pass is stolen away here. 3 defenders tip away Hansen's pass, and it's Brazil. One-on-one, hesitates, spins around and gets it to go with the right hook. Brazil, well shorter than Winkler. She threw that over, but it didn't stop her from getting the finish. It's 32-19 now. Sheldon's offense has yet to score in the last couple of minutes. Now the pass deflected out of bounds. Johnson tipping it away as Spurlock tried to throw right wing to Hansen. Ball will stay with the Irish, though. It's Spurlock to inbound. Skip pass over to Hansen to get it going. She throws over Winkler. Now to the Rainin left wing. Brazil went for the steal. Rainin open three-pointer off the back end of the rim. High rebound, fought for, goes down on the floor. Every player down on the floor, and Fallon able to grab it. She throws over to Brazil, who gets it up the court now to Johnson. Far corner three, and it rolls through. St. Mary's bench up and cheering as they're within 10 now, under a minute to go in this first half. Hansen tries left, throws it over to the corner where nobody exists for Sheldon. And so another turnover, the Blues get it right back. Washington checking in for Rainin.
Sheldon struggling in the half-court offense. St. Mary's is converting, and they're finally finding the bottom of the net, forcing Sheldon to run their offense, something they don't like to do as much as run as fast as they can.
Brazil brings it up the floor now for Sheldon. Over to Johnson. Now a three-pointer taken from Fallon, and it swishes through. A big run here from St. Mary's to end this half. 30 seconds to go. It's 32-25 Sheldon. Hansen walking it up. Throws over to Winkler. She gets a screen right. Picks up her dribble to Washington left side. She drives baseline. Throws out 10 feet. Walks, spinning through the lane. Throws it up. Almost got the roll. She draws the foul. That was almost an incredible and one opportunity for Sheldon, but instead it will just be 2 free throws for Cammie Walk.
That would have been a circus finish for sure there.
Spinning through the lane, drawing the contact. Cammie Walk with 3 points here tonight, goes back to the line. Hits the first free throw. 15.3 up on the clock, so St. Mary's will have at least enough time to try to get off another shot before this half ends. Second free throw from Walk off the back iron. Washington able to track it down, but it bounces out of her hands and it's taken by Fallon. Quick throw up to Newton. 10 seconds to go. She's across half court. Inside the three-point line and draws contact at the baseline. Exactly what she wanted there. Sheldon giving them the foul, and now a 1-and-1 chance to come for Newton.
Yeah, St. Mary's finally picking up on the aggressive defensive play style by Sheldon, getting to the line now and see if they can convert it.
By the way, this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. You can stay in the game and give back to student athletes by becoming an OSAA sports official. More information at osaa.org/officials. Free throw is off there from St. Mary's, and they're able to fight, though, on the right block as Newton. She grabs the rebound right back, or rather that was Johnson, and she draws another foul. So now in the double bonus, she'll have 2 free throw attempts with 5 seconds to go. Johnson gets the first one. Takes a couple dribbles. Fires away. Too short. Under 5 seconds to go as Mirabile has the rebound. Throws it up quickly here to Fouts, but she can't get a shot off. The buzzer sounds, and that does it for the first half here from Sheldon. They lead 33-26 over the number 22 seeded St. Mary's Academy, but the Blues really came storming back in the last couple of minutes. They're able to settle in defensively, get back on defense, force some stops, and then really just started hitting some outside shots on the other end.
Yeah, the shots are finally falling for the Blues. The momentum has completely shifted in their favor. How they're doing it is they're converting. They're finally finding the bottom of the net, forcing Sheldon to run their half-court offense, something they don't like doing. Sheldon likes to run up and down as much as they possibly can, never really setting up in an offense. But since St. Mary's is finally converting on the offensive end, they're doing that. They're forcing Sheldon to set up their offense, and they're getting some steals on the defensive side.
St. Mary's not going away, even though they were down by as much as 15 in that quarter. Sheldon was really building a sizable lead. They had plenty of opportunities to really pull away even in just this first half, but I think you can really credit St. Mary's for their resiliency there, staying in it, and now just going into the halftime just down by 7 within single digits. I think is such a win for this team after how this game started, that at least now, not the way they started. Surely they would have liked to have a lead after the first half out here on the road, but if you're going to give yourself a chance to come back on the Irish, probably a good idea to stay as close as you can at the halftime break.
Yeah, we're gonna see the same mindset from both teams here. They're gonna be talked by their coaches here at halftime and to see if they can change anything, but I don't think they really need to. Sheldon, they're gonna continue to run as fast as they can. St. Mary, they're gonna play with the same style as Sheldon is to play with them and see if they can run with them on the offensive and defensive side.
Well, tonight's broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. For the latest information on your favorite high school teams, you can log on to OSAA.org, where you'll find playoff brackets, broadcast schedules, and historical records. More information at OSAA.org. KWVA thanks to OSAA, for support during this broadcast. And now we will send this to break. We'll go back to the KWVA studios. We'll hear a sports desk update from the guys back there, and then we'll come back in about 5 or 6 minutes, break down some more of this game, and bring you the second half here in the second round of the OSAA 6A state playoffs. Sheldon leads 33-26 here at halftime on KWVA Eugene 88.1 FM. on the Friday Night Spotlight. We are back live inside Carolyn Rayborn Gymnasium, a couple minutes away from the start of the second half between number 6 Sheldon and number 22 St. Mary's Academy here in the second round of the OSAA 6A state playoffs. And this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association at the OSAAstore.com. You can find commemorative shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and more. KWVA thanks to the OSAA for support during this broadcast. And Ethan, 7-point lead for Sheldon. It could have been much more here going into the second half, but still, having a lead here, they're at home. This is kind of what the regular season is for. They're in front of their home crowd. They have that type of advantage here as they try to clinch their ticket to the Childs Center, and have to think, even though they didn't win that second quarter with St. Mary's outscoring them 15-11, they still feel pretty comfortable because for the most part, they're the ones that were really getting after it on the defensive end. And if they can just recapture that energy a little bit here in the second half, that was really impossible for St. Mary's to stop when they were turning the ball over and letting the Irish run the other way.
Yeah, St. Mary, like you said, they went on a run there at the end of the half. They have the momentum, but that's what halftime stops. Halftime stops momentums. I don't know if the Blues can translate their success at the end of the half to the beginning of this half here, but see both sides to do the same thing they were doing. Sheldon's going to be running up and down as fast as they can. St. Mary's, they're going to try to keep up with them. And some pretty even first half stats. St. Mary's 14 total rebounds to Sheldon 16. Both sides take care of the ball. St. Mary's only 11 turnovers, Sheldon only 8. So pretty even stats so far, and they're both on pace to score their regular season average in points.
Yeah, and it's strange. You look at the rebounding totals. You think Sheldon is much more dominant in that category. A lot of offensive rebounds that they've had. Have to think maybe that the reason St. Mary's is even close is just the fact that Sheldon has had so many more shot opportunities, so they've just missed that many more field goals here tonight.
Yeah, Sheldon, like we saw in that one position, they got like 3 offensive rebounds, missed every shot. But that shows the hustle and the heart that they're putting on the floor. They know what's at stake. And these seniors on both sides, they know this could be their last game ever.
Have to think maybe if St. Mary's can develop some of that grit here in the second half, try to get some second chance opportunities, that would go a long way in trying to really claw completely back in this one as they trail 33-26 as we're about to get going here in the second half. Once again, this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. You can stay in the game and give back to student athletes by becoming an OSAA sports official. More information at osaa.org/officials. KWVA thanks the OSAA for support during this broadcast. It's the St. Mary's Blues that will start with possession here. It's Brazil that walks it up. She leads all of St. Mary's scores with 7. She drives in here. Quick give off to Ruff. She hits the front end of the rim from 5 feet, and then Brazil fighting for it. Tried to throw it back into Ruff, but Walk, who was down on the floor, had it thrown off of her and out of bounds.
Great save by Brazil to keep the ball alive.
Brazil inbounds it here to Johnson. She can't get it to go in traffic, and the rebound to Walk. Sheldon back up the floor, their first offensive possession now. Struggled down the stretch of that first half. They work it to the left wing for Spurlock. Mirabile, the top of the key. To Hansen, down to the elbow for Walk. She dribbles down to the right block, out to Mirabile. Drives through to Winkler. 3 from the far corner. Far rebound goes to Mirabile. Sheldon, another offensive board there. 7-10 now into the high post for Walk to Mirabile right wing. She drives baseline and throws back to Walk. Short little shot is no good, and the rebound won by Eddy. Brazil, full court throw up to Newton, who's able to get the transition lay-in. Just like that, the lead down to 5 for Sheldon. 33-28, Mirabile dribbling outside the three-point line. Passes the free throw line for Walk. Jab set and then drives left and draws the foul. Walk will shoot 2.
Good take there by Walk to get herself to the line. She had a great shot opportunity set up last drive by Mirabile, but she wasn't able to convert the shot.
Walk had 4 first half points. It's here. First free throw is good. She averaged just over 10 points on the season, as here she takes a few dribbles, fires her way, and gets the roll from the front end of the rim. 35-28. It's Brazil working against the press, works it all the way to the near boundary, gets through the double team, but her dribble just goes a little bit too long, and Spurlock has a steal. 2-on-1. Off to the right block for Hansen, and she dragged her feet. She throws her hands up and shakes her head, not agreeing with the call, but it's a turnover nonetheless. Eddy throws up here to Ruff, who has her pass stolen, but Mirabile had to save it from going out of bounds. So she throws it right back into St. Mary's, who gives it off to Brazil now and walks it into the half court. She crossover, drives in left, throws out. Johnson, she'll take a three from the wing, and it's good. Marley Johnson starting to catch fire. She's got 6 points now on the night. 35-31, Sheldon leads.
Great setup there by Brazil to find her in the corner.
Now into the far corner for Winkler. Down to Walk, working around the post, drives around and gets the lay-in to go. Nice footwork to get her around Ruff, and now a timeout going to be taken by Coach Taylor III in St. Mary's, as the lead is up to 37-31 here for Sheldon. Half-court offense starting to run a little bit better right now for Sheldon, but St. Mary's, their transition game's starting to get going on the other end like they'd like to see.
Yeah, Brazil, she's that point for St. Mary's. She's running at the show, and she's able to break the press, but we saw there after she broke the press and got across half court, she lost the ball. And that's what St. Mary's, that's what Sheldon does, is because they have that constant full court press and that man-to-man full court that it's always affecting the offensive players and struggling them to make passes and drive to the rim.
Marley Johnson, she got that three-pointer to fall, and I think that's been one of the keys for the Blues over the last 6 minutes of game time or so, is Johnson. She's hit a couple threes now, and Newton has one as well, and that's one area where Sheldon, they've been really efficient from the outside here tonight. Rainin and Hansen each with a pair of threes for them, and I have to think if St. Mary's can keep pace there, that's one way to keep themselves in this game if they're going to continue to turn the ball over, because with those limited just possessions, you got to make the most of your points, and obviously the three-point play is the best chance of doing that.
Yeah, both teams were getting shots off in the first half. Newton herself missed 4 alone threes for St. Mary's, so it's now they're putting them in. They're putting them in though.
Back underway here inside Carolyn Rayborn Gymnasium. Thanks for tuning in on KWVA Eugene. St. Mary's breaks the press. They give off to Newton, who now hands off Brazil. She dribbles around the three-point line. Throws down low, Ruff. Quickly out to Newton. She'll take the three. Just rattles out. Rebound to Walk and Sheldon. Walk immediately sprinting up the floor, and there's a lot of contact between her and Newton. She ends up on the ground, and foul going to be going against Newton. Was no shooting foul, and that is just the first personal on Jade Newton, the junior. Inbounds coming from Hansen. She throws in Mirabile. 5:20 to go in this third quarter. Mirabile takes it, then throws it out now. Winkler to the corner for Spurlock. Thinks about a three, drives in baseline, gives off to Walk, but they're going to say that Spurlock walked before she dished it, so another turnover.
Interesting move by Mirabile. She got down to the rim, and I thought she had a wide open look for a lane, but she decided to pass out there, and they end up getting a turnover.
Thought she could get the three instead of the easy two, and it comes back to bite Sheldon. So now quick throw up to Ruff. She catches, drives in, passes off baseline to Newton, who dribbles it out. Now out to Eddy and Brazil. Now Johnson, corner three off the front side of the iron, bouncing off of Sheldon players. Johnson diving for it on the ground. She has it, and so does Mirabile. They're going to call it a jump ball, and it will go back down with Sheldon. There's a lot of contact there. Players just diving on the floor left and right.
Hustle on both sides. 20 there for Sheldon. Walk, she was slow to get up, and she does go to the bench.
37-31 our score. Sheldon ahead. 4:40 to go here in the third quarter. Looks like Macy Rainin set to check back in for Sheldon. She leads all scorers with 8 as Newman now drives in on the right block, and her shot is no good off the backboard. Rebound to St. Mary's. It's Brazil working against the double team, gets it across half court, throws it up. Nice one-handed grab by Eddy at the three-point line. She drives in but loses control as it bounces off of her knee and out of bounds, and that's a turnover. Macy Rainin does indeed check in. This will be Fallon Hansen going to the bench. Into the game comes Grace Fallon for St. Mary's. Rainin on the left wing now throws down Winkler. Quick throw over to Newman in the front of the rim, and she's able to draw the foul. Sheldon really working the ball inside nicely no matter which post it is that they have down there.
Yeah, I love the ball movement there by Sheldon. They got the ball low post, and then they were able to get it back to the high post for Newman, who got fouled.
Newman, 4 points and make it 5 as she wiggles through the first free throw. 4:09 left on the board in this third quarter. Newman, 4 strong dribbles, then high arcing shot off to the left, and they're going to say that one didn't even hit the rim, in fact, so that's a violation, and ball will just go automatically to St. Mary's. They do inbound it to Brazil in the backcourt. Quick throw, it's tipped off Newman's hands and into Winkler's. Now to Rainin, left wing. Sheldon setting up the offense once again as they lead 38-31. To Spurlock, right wing. Back to Mirabile. She drives in from the front of the key, loses control of the ball, tried to grab it back, and it bounces off her hands out of bounds. Mirabile had a hot start on offense, and it's been pretty quiet since, just 4 points. Brazil now catches the inbounds for St. Mary's. Quickly up to Newton now. Nice find down to Fallon, but she can't grab it, and then she does, but her foot was out of bounds, so another turnover for the Blues.
Great defensive stop there by Mirabile to force the turnover. St. Mary's had a wide open lane, and she stepped in and poked that ball out.
Mirabile jogs up the floor. Over to Winkler now to Rainin, left wing. Swings it over to the other end, and Brazil intercepts it. Up to Newton, one-on-one with Spurlock. Nice move to get around her and gets the lay-in to go at the rim. Makes it 7 for Newton. The lead back down to 5. Spurlock with it right wing. Back to Mirabile in high post. Newman out. Now over to baseline. Jumper taken by Winkler. No good. The rebound to Eddy in St. Mary's. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. So they trail by 5. It's Brazil setting up the offense now. Works it left. Drives into the paint. Passes out to Johnson at the top. She walks it over right side and gives off Newton. Now Eddy over to Newton. She'll take a 3 from the wing. Too strong off the back iron, and rebound to Winkler. Throws over Spurlock for Sheldon as they bring it up to the three-point line. Passes out Mirabile. Back to Spurlock. Wide open 3 from the wing is good. Spurlock joins the fun downtown as now Brazil driving coast to coast, and a nice floater through the lane falls. Maya Brazil, a quick answer for St. Mary's as it's 41-35. Rainin driving in baseline, trying to squeeze it out to Newman, but it ends up with St. Mary's. Eddy sprinting 2-on-2. Going to take it all the way to the rim and draws the foul on Winkler.
Wow, we got some fast-paced basketball here both ways, back and forth.
Skurlock hit that 3 for Sheldon. And Brazil just went all the way back down the other end, and now St. Mary's has a pair of free throws with Eddy, and she hits the first. Some substitutions as Mirabile and Winkler check out. In come Washington and Walk. Second free throw rattles through. Eddy 2 for 2 on that trip. She's got 5. 41-37 Sheldon. Skurlock on the right wing. Passes out Newman. Over to Washington. Down low, Walk. Just can't get it to fall though. Nice defense on the help side from Fallon. Forces the miss. Brazil now dribbles it to the three-point line for St. Mary's. Working on Skurlock. Drives to the free throw line. Pass out Newton. Hands off now Johnson. Swings it back to Brazil up top. Lobs it down low to Eddie, but it's poked away, stolen by Sheldon. Walk has it. Passes off to Hansen now. To the corner. Skurlock for three. Got it! 44-37, Sheldon Skurlock, her second three of the quarter.
She likes that corner. Same spot as last time.
10 points for her now. That leads all scorers. Now the pass stolen away. Washington has it. 3-on-1 for Sheldon. Washington to Skurlock in the corner. She fakes the three, dribbles in, mid-range, just rolls off. Rebound by Newman and the putback. Emma Newman has the answer off the Skurlock miss. With 35 seconds to go, the lead is ballooned back to 9. 46-37. High post, Brazil. Swings off Newton, left wing. Dribbles it back and gives to Brazil, throws down Fallon, left block, triple team, ball down on the floor. She's able to get it out. Newton, she'll take a three, too strong, high rebound, won by Walk. Batted away though, it's on the ground. Newman dives on it, throws off to Walk, and then she's slammed to the ground. Two Blues defenders got in there and knocked her down, and it was really close to where Grace Fallon was on the floor as well. A close play as Fallon looks shaken up. And a timeout's going to be taken here, believed by Coach Dewey Taylor III, and that is the case. So 46-37 to go, or rather 46-37 our score with 9.8 to go in this third quarter. But that play right there, I think, maybe encapsulates just what this game has been. A lot of effort by both sides, and I think both sides are going to have their fair share of bruises no matter who ends up on top at the end of tonight.
Yeah, that shows right there how much is on the line in this situation. A quick 5-0 run here by Sheldon. Skurlock hitting that three. The student section here dominated by that looks like to be the men's basketball team who lost last week in the playoffs. She was in the same corner and wanted to get that third one. The crowd was excited, but she pump fake and then she drove to the rim.
Well, 46-37, Sheldon leading here. And so again, this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. You can stay in the game and give back to student athletes by becoming an OSAA sports official. More information at osaa.org/officials. KWVA. Thanks to OSAA for support during this broadcast. Mirabile quickly up the court. 5 seconds to go. Dribbles all the way in. Passes off. Newman at the block, and she gets the lay-in to go. Buzzer will sound here. That does it for the third quarter, and Sheldon a quick two to put themselves up by double digits heading to the fourth quarter. And they're 8 minutes away from a trip to the Chiles Center and the state quarterfinals.
That's exactly what St. Mary's did to them at the end of the second quarter. So it's just a game of runs so far. St. Mary's has gotten within 4 twice here in that third quarter. They haven't gotten close. They haven't got closer than that. And we saw the big run there at the end in the third quarter by Sheldon. See if the momentum can translate there into the fourth quarter.
St. Mary's, they find themselves down by 11 once again. That's where they were at the end of the first quarter. It's going to take a pretty incredible run here if they're going to really get back in this one and challenge Sheldon for this trip to the quarterfinals. Have to think if they are able to do it, though, it's got to start defensively. They're going to have to get some turnovers and get going quickly the other way to try to chew into this lead a little bit, because Sheldon has really gotten on a run a little bit these past couple of minutes, and their offense is really starting to roll.
Yeah, St. Mary's, they're getting the looks they want. Jade Newton, she's struggling. She's one of their better three-point shooters on this Blues squad. She's 0 for 7 for this game, hasn't made one yet. So hopefully she can get something going, but or they're going to have to try to find someone else to get those threes, because they're going to need some in the fourth quarter.
Reminder that this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. For the latest information on your favorite high school teams, you can log on to osaa.org, where you'll find playoff brackets, broadcast schedules, and historical records. More information at osaa.org. Back underway here in the fourth and final quarter. Carolyn Rayborn Gymnasium. St. Mary's starting with possession as they trail by 11. It's Newton up at the top working on Raina. Drives in, pass to Eddie in the corner. Now she throws it out and nearly stolen away as they get it to Johnson. Now back to Newton in the near corner. She has to back out, dribbling through the double team. Just able to get it past the hands of Skurlock, then to Johnson for three, and it's good. Nothing but net. And Marley Johnson doing what she can to keep her team in it. Quick throw up to Skurlock for Sheldon, then back out Mirabile. 7:20 to go. Skurlock right wing. Back to Mirabile. 48-40 is the lead. Sheldon slowing it down a little bit, now looking to run something. Throws to Winkler, to Rainin. Rainen has a screen right. She'll take it. Dribbling in, then pass out, walk. She'll take the three to the left of the rim, no good. Batted away, though, and won by Rainen off the offensive glass. She picks up her dribble, though. She has to pass it off to Mirabile at the sideline. Mirabile works it right side around the perimeter, then pass to Skurlock, right back to her. Mirabile harassed, gives off Walk. Walk wants to give it right back to her, and she does. Patient offense here by Sheldon. Really taking time out as Mirabile drives through the lane. Out to Rainen. She's able to corral it. Takes the three. Can't get the roll, though. And rebound taken by Eddie for St. Mary's. Minute possession ends in no points for Sheldon as Gallion dribbles it up for St. Mary's now. And nearly has her pass on away, and she does. Skurlock jumped in front of it. She drove in and tried to pass it back out to the three. 6 minutes to go. Mirabile has it for the Irish to Winkler. Now Rainen left wing. Throwing it down to Walk. She gets separation and is fouled from behind. .48-40 is our score as Cammie Walk heads to the free throw line. Reminder, this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. At the OSAAstore.com, you can find commemorative shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and more. KWVA thanks the OSAA for support during this broadcast. Checking in for St. Mary's is Maya Brazil, back out there after a short break. She has 9 points for them. It's tied with Johnson for the lead. As free throw is good by Walk. 2 for 2 on that trip. Makes it 50-40 Sheldon. Throwing up now Newton. She dribbles it off a Sheldon player, and then a foul charge as Eddie caught it and got pushed by Rainen.
She's got to be careful. That's her third so far.
Rainen, aggressive defense can often come back to bite her. She picks up fouls, but still has some buffer here tonight as pass goes off to Newton now for St. Mary's. Brazil up at the top, gets a screen, drives through the middle of the defense. Pass, though, intercepted. Winkler stole it away. Sheldon walking it up the floor. Throw up Skurlock, right baseline. Pass down to the block for Walk. She loses it and passes it out. Skurlock, another three from the near corner. She can't miss. And it's 53-40 Sheldon. Timeout taken by St. Mary's.
She has hit 3 threes in almost the identical same spot. That is impressive. She likes that corner for sure, right in front of the student section.
5:14 remains and the lead up to 13 for Sheldon right now. Just doing everything they can to keep the Blues at an arm's length away. And St. Mary's are going to have to find some way to make a run at some point. It's probably got to start right about now if they're going to get back into it. You're Coach Taylor. I mean, what are you saying to your team right now? Because at the same time, it's hard for these players when you get put in this position because the pressure is there. Trip to the Child Center, state quarterfinals on the line. And even when you're trailing, you can start to get frustrated with seeing how far away you really are from reaching that goal.
Yeah, they got to take care of the ball. They're getting sloppy as of late. They already have 2 turnovers here early in the fourth and final quarter. And once they get in that half-court spot, they're getting the shots they wanted, but they can't waste any possessions. And Jade Newton is continuing to struggle at 3, but luckily Marley Johnson is picking up the slack there. She has 9 points, continuing off her success in the first round where she had 15 points in that win over McMinnville.
By the way, this broadcast brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. You can stay in the game and give back to student athletes by becoming an OSAA sports official. More information at the OSAA at osaa.org/officials. KWVA thanks the OSAA for support during this broadcast. And the Friday Night Spotlight will continue once this game does conclude. We have the air here till 9 p.m. Austin Craycraft, Tyler Kasten, Maverick Palick back in studio. We'll keep you updated on everything Oregon athletics until then. Is here a foul called at the half-court mark. St. Mary's got it to Marley Johnson, and she was trying to dribble out of a double team and got some contact. Sheldon, though, truthfully, done a good job at really staying disciplined here tonight in the second half. Haven't added up too many fouls, and still, that's just their third team foul, so quite a ways away from putting St. Mary's in the bonus.
Yeah, it's hard for teams like Sheldon to be able to play that way without fouling as much as they do.
Here, Brazil drives all the way in and can't get her shot to fall, but the rebound goes to Fallon. and she picks up a foul as she goes up with it. So she'll go to the line, and this may be where the Blues really need to get it going. If they can hit some shots from the free throw line, clock stopped, get just a little bit closer, inch by inch, that could be the little boost that they need to keep themselves motivated. And then this one. So the first free throw is good from Fallon. And the second through as well. 53-42, Sheldon leads. Now Hanson, she gets trapped. Off to Walk, and a full court pass goes to Skurlock. She's just able to keep her foot in bounds, but she was beyond the half court mark and then walked back into the backcourt. That's an over and back violation. The officials all over it. Another turnover, just what St. Mary's needed.
And that's the first time we've seen the full court press by St. Mary's. See, they probably will continue to do so in the remaining of this game.
Brazil drives in, throws out Newton, right wing. She jacks a deep three. It's off with a rebound to Johnson. She goes up with it, gets fouled, can't get the roll, but she'll go back to the line with 4:38 to play. Broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. For the latest information on your favorite high school teams, you can log on to osaa.org, where you'll find playoff brackets, broadcast schedules, and historical records. More information at osaa.org. And if you do go on there, take a look at the 6A bracket, you'll see the winner of this game take on the winner of Sherwood and Beaverton. Sherwood, number 19 seed, got an upset in the first round. His first free throw no good for St. Mary's, but the second one rolls through, and then a turnover here from Sheldon as Hanson just tried to fling it full court. It went over the head of Mirabile and out of bounds, and Coach Brancato wants to talk it over. Sheldon maybe just a little bit antsy out there, throwing it a little bit too hard, just making a few too many mistakes here down the stretch, and Brancato knows that's all the little door St. Mary's needs to see for them to put some more pressure on them.
Yeah, a sneaky full court press there by St. Mary's to throw here in the fourth quarter, and Sheldon wasn't ready for it. Back-to-back turnovers forced by this St. Mary's defense. Really good job for them to force those turnovers, and now they're finally converting them at the line.
We're going to take a look at the rest of the 6A bracket. Of course, St. Mary's and Sheldon, they play the winner of Sherwood and Beaverton. Down on the lower half, it was chalk as Benson and South Medford are matching up. That one got started at 6 p.m., probably already over, so that score could be updated here shortly. They'll play the winner of the 2-seed Tigard and Grants Pass, who is the 18 seed that got the upset in their first round. The winners of those 4 games will be in the bottom half of the state tournament bracket. Get started next Wednesday in the Chiles Center. Both these teams looking to punch their ticket here tonight. 4.5 minutes to go. Brazil sets it up for St. Mary's to Fallon. She'll take a deep three, and she is fouled in the corner on the shot. Coach Taylor III was furious at first that a foul wasn't called. It was a late whistle, but the official saw the look he gave him, and I think he immediately from there blew the whistle because that was pretty obvious even from here.
Yeah, it was a good call. Right call there.
There, Fallon got hacked on the arm shooting a three. She misses the first one. St. Mary's trailing by 10. Second free throw is good.
4 straight points on the line. Could be a 5 here. She makes this final one.
It's a good sign for the Blues. Clock is stopped, and they do get that 5th straight point from the charity stripe as Fallon goes 2 for 3. Skurlock dribbling through the press, passing off Newman. It's tipped away by St. Mary's. Nice hands by Fallon. Tips it out of bounds, though. Sheldon keeps the ball. 4:12 to play. Student section for Sheldon, starting to get into it a little bit here. Carolyn Rayborn Gymnasium. Inbound, right block Newman. She tries to go up, and she draws the foul. It's going right into the body there of Fallon. Game really slowing down here in the last couple of minutes. So what was a furious back and forth pace for most of it. Both teams drawing a lot of fouls. Newman back to the line. She's got 7 points tonight. High arcing free throw is flat off the back of the rim and off.
Yeah, it's kind of funny to see how things have shifted here late in the game. Both teams know what's on the line, and they're trying to focus and finish this game out for Sheldon.
Newman, second free throw, hits the back of the rim again, same spot, and it's off. Rebound to Eddy, but her pass stolen in the backcourt by Skurlock, but she drives right through Eddy, and she's going to pick up the charge right there. St. Mary's, their fans are up on their feet and cheering. Sheldon, though, of course, that means they're upset with it. Big call there goes against Sheldon, and the ball back with Brazil and the Blues. She drives in, gets some separation, going through the lane. Nice step and a nice finish at the rim. Lead down to 6 now, 53-47. Hansen picks up her feet, or rather a dribble, throws over Mirabile. She's driving all the way into Newman, right block, and she draws the foul. Nice find there from the sophomore point guard at the right block, and Newman will go back to the line. Pressure really being put on Sheldon's offense right now, but just able to breathe with these trips to the line as Newman this time is able to connect. Going 0 for 2 on the last trip. She hits the first.
Yeah, St. Mary's, they're not going away. Yeah, they still got 3:45 left in this game, 7-point game. Watch out. Close finish here.
Newman, a few concentrated dribbles and hits the left side of the rim. Long rebound, though, goes to Skurlock and Sheldon. She passes out Mirabile. Offensive rebounds have been killing the Blues all night. It's Hansen on the outside now. Off to Skurlock up top. Guarded by Eddy. Hands off Newman. Circling around back to Winkler. Circles back to Mirabile. Driving into the lane now. Skurlock fakes the shot. Drives in. Wide open run at the rim. And an easy finish for her.
Yeah, big swing of points there. It would have been a 7-point game in St. Mary's ball instead of a 9-point game now.
Johnson catches at the wing. Fakes the three. Drives in. Floater too short. The rebound to Sheldon. 56-47, a 9-point lead for them. Hansen driving in, and Brazil picks up the block. She was moving her feet as she fell to the ground. That will be the 7th team foul, so a 1-and-1 coming up for Sheldon.
A good call there by the ref to call the block, but you got to love the hustle from Brazil, trying to do anything she can to get that charge.
Newman checks out now. Back in, Cammie Walk. Hansen, she's to the line. She's had 7 points here tonight for scoring 7 back on Tuesday, but clips is that mark now as she gets her 8th on that free throw. Timeout now taken here on the floor. A good time to remind you that this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. At the OSAAstore.com, you can find commemorative shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and more. KWVA thanks the OSAA for support during this broadcast. 3 minutes left here for both these teams. A 10-point lead. Sheldon just hanging on to it. They're doing just enough, I think, on each end of the floor to keep this lead, but St. Mary's, they're giving them everything they can handle right now, putting the pressure on in the backcourt, trying to get those extra little tips. It's still just been the offensive rebounds killing them time and time again. Yeah, we saw there they had a chance to pull within 5 if they would have got the rebound, but they couldn't secure the board. And Sheldon, now they're converting at the line to push this game above 10. And I mean, you can have a sloppy game with turnovers. You can give up offensive rebounds, but you can't really do both and still win. You can do one or the other, but all those missed opportunities really adding up right now for St. Mary's. As Hansen back to the line for the second end of that 1-and-1, and she hits that as well. So a 2-for-2 trip, lead up to 11. Brazil quick down the floor for St. Mary's, and now foul picked up. Mirabile hand checked her as she was driving through the lane. So he thought this game was slow. It's getting slower and slower now as both sides into the bonus. A 1-and-1 coming up for Brazil. Chance to pull within single digits with 2:55 to play. First free throw good from Brazil. Puts her in double digits. She had 10 points just as she does now back on Tuesday in the round 1 win against McMinnville. Second free throw here is good as well, so make it 58-49. Skurlock catches the inbound, throws over to Winkler. Now cross half court to Mirabile. To the corner for Hansen. Back Mirabile. Now Winkler at the top of the key. Hansen backs out. Guarded by Fallon. Knows she has the advantage against her, dribbling back and forth. Crossing over, then throws over to Skurlock as Brazil comes over. Now to Mirabile. Back up to Skurlock. Just passing around the perimeter, knowing they have the time. No shot clock here in Oregon. 2:20 to play now. Skurlock catches it, guarded closely by Brazil. She falls down. No foul called. Off to Mirabile. Driving all the way baseline underneath the basket. Tosses back out. Hansen fakes the shot. to Mirabile. She comes back in and a really high arcing shot rolls off of her hands and all the way up to the top of the backboard, and it actually stayed up there and rolled for a couple of seconds. That was the weirdest shot I think I've ever seen.
I don't know what I just saw.
It just kind of came out of her hands weird and ran on the top of the backboard. A lucky break for St. Mary's. They trail 58-49, under 2 to play now. Johnson, near corner, Eddy on the wing. Pass, stolen away by Skurlock. She's all by herself, and she has an easy lay-in right side, making 17 points for her to lead all scorers.
That might have been just it right there.
A dagger perhaps as Newton drives in baseline. Her floater can't go. Mirabile has it for Sheldon and is walking it up. Gets into the half court. Able to just dribble all the way through the defense and has another wide open layup. First points for her since the first quarter. Makes it a 13-point lead, a minute 30 to go.
And it seems the St. Mary's defense has finally given up in this game.
Now Brazil, her runner left side, can't go, and a foul. It's just going to be intentional there as Hansen had it underneath the basket, and she'll now shoot free throws. But as it stands, right now Sheldon 77 seconds away from a trip to the state quarterfinals in the Chiles Center. Would be their first since 2016 when they lost in the quarterfinals. They lost in the first round last year and trying to return. It will be their third trip in 4 years as Hansen hits the first free throw. Good time to remind you, this broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. You can stay in the game and give back to student athletes by becoming an OSAA sports official. More information at osaa.org/officials. Second free throw, no good. Rebound to St. Mary's. Quickly throws it up to Newton. Minute 10. Her dribble, stolen away from her by behind. Hansen got her hand in there, reflected it away, and now a foul called as Hansen dribbles up, and a block goes against Fallon. More free throws coming up. Some subs coming in for Sheldon. Cami Watt goes to the floor, and coming back out is Caitlin Fouts, the junior forward. Hansen's second free throw. Good. Right at that, her first. The 1-and-1. Now second one coming up. Lead up to 15. This is the largest it's been since the second quarter for Sheldon. Second free throw is good as well. Hansen making the most of those trips to the line. 60 seconds to play. Now, deep three just jacked by Fallon off the backboard, no good. Eddy able to grab the rebound. Back to Fallon. She'll take another three from the top. No good. And Winkler grabs the rebound, has it poked out of her hand, and she stepped on the back boundary out of bounds. So St. Mary's will salvage that possession with 49.4 to go. Broadcast is brought to you in part by the Oregon School Activities Association. For the latest information on your favorite high school teams, you can log on to osaa.org where you'll find playoff brackets, broadcast schedules, and historical records. Now, pass stolen here by Brazil. It goes to Mirabile, but Brazil gets it back. She'll take a three, too strong back rim. Rebound Mirabile, and she picks up the foul. She dribbles it up. 38 seconds to go. Brazil putting her hands in the air. Just nothing she can do at this point. 38 seconds to go. The lead 16. Free throws coming for Sheldon. Maybe a chance where they can finally take a breath and start to really live in the moment as they're about to clinch their spot in the quarterfinals. Mirabile, first free throw good. Winkler, she checks out along with Skurlock. Great performance by her tonight, 17 points to lead the game. She gets a big hug from Hansen. Now, free throw good once again by Mirabile. Eddy up the floor, 35 seconds. Now trying to throw it over Gallion, but it's stolen away. Mirabile one-on-one. She tries to draw the foul, but it just goes out of bounds off of Eddy. Sheldon will inbound it now from underneath the basket, 27.8 to go. Lauren Rigg out there getting her first minutes alongside Natalie Bartram. Pass goes in to Fouts into the corner for Rigg. Stolen, though, away by Gallion. Under 20 seconds. Quick throw up to the other end. Johnson tracks it down, saves it, but just throws it in to Bartram. Now, in the backcourt, it's stolen right back by Johnson. He's going to go up, draws the foul on Washington, and she'll shoot 2. 9.1 to play. 67-49 our score, and all but over here inside Carolyn Rayborn Gymnasium.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see the hustle there by Marley Johnson. She knows her season is over here. She's only a sophomore, so she still has 2 more to go as she makes the first free throw there. And 9 seconds left, and she has, they could just give up. They know the game's over. They don't need to do that, but she kept playing. And now she's shooting free throws.
Free throw, good by Johnson. Now, Sheldon's Curtin just dribbling it around. And after a 1-year absence, the Sheldon Irish girls basketball team will return to the Child Center in the 6A state quarterfinals as they take down St. Mary's Academy in a bout of revenge, 67-51. What a performance by Sheldon here at home. They take care of business, and they punch their ticket in the final 8 of 6A's best. Really, I think overall, complete performance by Sheldon. They faltered at times offensively in the half court, really, and at the end of the first half, I think you can point to as some times where they were having just a few troubles on that side. But other than that, I think really a solid performance all around, balanced effort, and just got the big shots to fall and got the turnovers that they needed, while St. Mary's just couldn't get enough opportunities.
Yeah, St. Mary's, they kept throwing different things at Sheldon, and Sheldon would be startled at first, and that's when we saw the score get as close as it did hit there in the second and then in the third. But it took Sheldon some time to get that lead back up, and they would do so. But this score, that 16-point win here for Sheldon doesn't really show the whole story of the game. St. Mary's, they kind of just, in those final minutes, they kind of gave up. They played their hearts out the entire game, but they knew what was happening, and they put their subs in. So a 16-point victory margin is quite the whole story of the game. But yeah, Sheldon going back now in the final 8.
Yeah, I think for St. Mary's, it just got to the point in the second half where the frustration was seeping in. It was just too hard to continue to battle with this Sheldon team that really, I think if anything else, really throw out all the other stats, how well they shot, all the turnovers they forced, all the second chance opportunities they grabbed. They just fought hard out there. Every single ball, every 50-50 opportunity they were diving after. They were trying to get every possession they needed, and that's, I think, the type of mentality that they needed to have tonight and that they need to really embrace over the next week, because starting on Wednesday, the pressure just increases that much more up in the Child Center. It's going to be those type of performances, just fighting through adversity and trying to get every last shot you can that'll really give them a good opportunity to go as far as they want to.
Yeah, Sheldon's a tough team to play in the playoffs, a team that runs as fast as they do. They're so well conditioned, and you saw that in this game today. They never got tired, and they're so deep. Every single one of their girls is going to come out there, and they're going to run as fast as they can on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And St. Mary's kept up with them at times, but it wasn't enough, and that will probably translate into the rest of the playoffs here for Sheldon.
Well, for the first time since 2016, Sheldon will return to the state quarterfinals. There they fell in the first round of the state tournament. The year before, they fell in the semifinals and took 3rd place. The Irish are waiting to see if they are able to get to their first state championship appearance. We do have some finals, though, around the state that we can take a look at and kind of fill out the bracket here for 6A. Well, Sheldon, they will take on number 3 seeded Beaverton, a low-scoring affair as they handle their business, winning 25-18. So it'll be the 3 versus the 6, and that'll be 6:30 next Wednesday at the Child Center. Looks like Benson, they beat South Medford, so a Southwestern Conference, I guess, friend, if you will, for Sheldon falls. Because Benson, the 7th seed, they stay in it. Looks like Tigard, they'll be there as well in the quarterfinals, taking on Benson as they beat Grants Pass 51-48. West Lynn, they beat Oregon City to advance on the other side, and it's looking like North Medford, they dominated Central Catholics. It'll be Central Catholic and West Lynn in the other quarterfinal. And then Southridge, they're going to take on Clackamas, who was able to upset Jesuit in the 8-9 matchup. So it will be 1 versus 9, 5 versus 4, 3 versus 6, and 2 versus 7. Pretty much chalk here in the 6A. And, you know, Sheldon, I think they know going into it that either way, every team from here on out is really the best of the best, and they're going to have to play at the top of their game in order to continue to advance and keep their state title hopes alive.
Yeah, everyone at this point deserves to be where they are. They earned it all season long. Sheldon, one of those teams, and it's going to be interesting to see in that Beaverton-Sheldon game here next week. That was a really low score that you just announced there, that Beaverton and who'd they play?
Beaverton and Sherwood.
Beaverton and Sherwood, yeah. Beaverton, a low-scoring game. Will be interesting to see what their strategy is to play a team like Sheldon, who averages 60 points a game. St. Mary's, their strategy was to play with them, to play up and down. We see maybe Beaverton will decide to try to slow it down.
Well, Sheldon did what they had to tonight. They're headed to the state quarterfinals in the Child Center after a 67-51 victory. They will take on Beaverton next Wednesday at 6:30 up in Portland. That does it for us here inside Cairborn Gymnasium at Sheldon High School. A big thanks to everyone that made this broadcast possible. Matt Binker, the athletic director here at Sheldon. Our cameraman tonight, Jason Humphreys for SheldonAthletics.com. My partner, Ethan Weiss. A big shout out to all the guys back in studio, Austin Craycraft, Tyler Caston, and Maverick Palak that were producing this one for us. They had Quack Smack for you from 6 to about 6:50, and now they'll come back on for the final 25 minutes or so, break down some more Oregon athletics. It's a really busy weekend all around the athletics department, if you will. Softball over in Florida. That's why I was here calling this game for Sheldon with Mark Grandy out there in Tampa and Tallahassee. Oregon baseball busy, Oregon women's basketball, Oregon men's basketball, a lot of things to break down. So let's send it back into the KWVA studios now. This is Alex Castle signing off here on the Friday Night Spotlight. Sheldon victorious 67-51 in the second round of the 6A state playoffs. Be back after this break on KWVA Eugene 88.1 FM.